Hello, and welcome back to Matt's Crazy Farm, where we have no shortage of crazy. All right, so the ducks are doing well. Zoom in over here for a second. So there's one duck right there, the light brown one. He is being a pest. He is chasing every other duck, and he's trying to be bossy. So I'm thinking probably next week I'm going to be doing duck dinner. So that little guy over there, he's gonna have another week of life, and maybe that, and that's it. We're gonna be done with him because he's just not being nice. He is just not being nice to everybody else. So that's gonna have to get fixed. Yes, goat. Can I help you? Okay. So I'll feed the goats in a moment, which I've already fed them with hay and things, but now they want oats. But today is, well, it's actually a decent day. It's not too bad. A little bit windy, but it's another day of working in the shop. So I've been kind of, now that the shop is starting to become a lot more useful, I've been getting a lot of stuff done in there. So once again, because I live off grid, I have to plan a few things. If I'm going to be turning on the shop generator, which runs on diesel, and diesel these days is not cheap. Excuse me, I'm talking. Don't interfere. You have food. Go eat it. So, diesel is not being cheap, and we're not going to get into the reasons why, because that's just going to piss me off, and this is going to be a very long conversation. And then I'm just going to go on a rant. Anyways, so diesel is very expensive, so even when it was less expensive, I still would plan ahead. So if I'm going to use the generator, I want to make sure that it's not sitting there idling for too long, and I'm actually getting some use out of it. So I'm still in the process of setting up the milling machine, and I have to weld up a couple of minor little things on it. Excuse me, just quit being you. Exactly, stop being you. So if I'm gonna weld that and get the generator going, I also need to turn on the milling machine to find out if I've managed to fix the hydraulic leaks, but that's all small stuff. So what else can I do? Well, look at that. That's my backhoe. That has a broken bucket. So we're gonna first get the backhoe started, then open this up, and then pry that back, and grind it and get it all prepped so I can actually weld that back on, because that's going to be nice. And how was the other side? Well, still in one piece. Okay, so there's that. And I've been really needing to build a workbench, so I think I'm going to start prepping the pieces for that ahead of time before I even get to the generator, and get all those prepped, and then I might actually start welding up the workbench today. Fingers crossed. So this is the plan. But I suppose I could potentially be nice to the goats and give them some grain first. Oh yes, so excited. It's like crack cocaine. Okay. They get so excited about this. It's like the highlight of their day. Hi! Can I help you? What would you like? I am very confused as to what it is that you want. Exactly. Go, 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 go. Go, come on, move. Keep walking. No, you don't belong up there. Thank you. Can I help you? Is there something that you desire, little creatures? I wonder what it could be. Hello? Oh, you're so disappointed there's no food in my hand. But I want pets first. You have to give me pets. No, you don't want food then, I guess. Sucks to be you. No, I want pets first. There we go. Come here. All right. Yeah, I'm going to dump some over here for you. Hey, get out of the bucket. Hey, who wants some? Oh, there we go. There we go. Good girl. Yes, you are. No, out of the bucket. You're going to get some over here. Hey, come on, get out of the bucket. You, stop being skittish. There we go. A little bit over there. And a little bit over here. And you guys are all divided up and not fighting each other too much. There we go. Okay. That is it for Goat TV. Things are a bit muddy here still. The temperatures are sometimes warm, sometimes cold. Snow is still in a few shady areas melting away. So, yeah, let's wander over to the ducks for a second. See what those little troublemakers are up to. They seem unusually quiet. Oh, there we go. They're all hiding over. Yeah, they really like the water. They are very, very excited about the water. Just love that little marshy area. And that's fine, and I'm good with that. As long as they continue eating mosquito larvae, then we have a win-win situation. Otherwise, you become dinner. They're funny little creatures. Oh, there we go. All in unison. Run away. Run away from the scary man. Run away from the scary man. Oh no, what are we going to do? So scary. So scary. Yep. What are you guys going to do? All right. I'll stop torturing you. Okay, back in the shop. So, once again, I have to work with what I have. And don't get me wrong, I am very fortunate to have what I have. I have a good friend of mine that scored me a bunch of this C-channel steel for free. So I am very happy about that. The only thing is that it's all 5-foot long sections. What I'm trying to build for this project that I need in here is a 4-foot by 8-foot table. So the 5-foot pieces are not going to work for what I need. This is going to post up a photo of what I'm going after. So I actually need 7 feet. And amazingly, I don't own a metal stretcher or a magical wand. So I'm going to have to splice these in the middle somehow, which I've already kind of figured out how. But, and then figure out how I'm going to do the joints on it. And then I also have to deal with the legs. Now for the legs, ideally I would use like, square tubing or rectangular tubing, and I don't have any. So the only thing I do have is some round tubing, which is better than nothing. Okay. Nothing's ever simple out here. No, it's not. Okay. So, the generator's up and running for the shop. It started up nicely since it is warmer. Not a big deal. What's the backhoe doing over here? Well, so in the process of trying to build this workbench frame and prep everything, I decided I'm going to make my life a lot easier, and I'm going to use a different type of material for some of it than I originally anticipated. So for the legs, which is going to be stupid overkill, but I have this, I decided to use the other post that I have, because the first post I'm going to be using for the jib crane, and I don't really have any other use for this thing other than some crazy idea somewhere. So since I have no shortage of crazy ideas, I decided, okay, I'm going to dig this out of storage out over there, which is what the backhoe was for, and I will cut this up into the leg segments because I don't see any other use for it. As soon as I took the backhoe out, I noticed that there's a leak in the hydraulics. And of course, it cannot be in any nice place that is easily accessible and takes very little effort to get to. No, no, no. It has to be in the worst possible cylinder. So this awesome, very durable backhoe has a feature called the extendahoe. So what happens is this entire bucket can actually move out like 5+ feet out that way, which is great. It gives me a massive reach, or the ability to dig really low down in the ground. And the cylinder that is stuck in there is the one that is currently leaking a lot. And of course, to get to said cylinder, which you can kind of almost see in there, you have to pull out that pin, then you have to pull out one of those pins, then you have to somehow grab onto it and manhandle it out of there, because it's not a light cylinder, out of this tube that is completely encased. And then when you finally get it, I guess somehow magically disconnect the hoses to it or something, meanwhile getting completely covered in hydraulic oil, and then try to figure out which part of the thing is leaking. I'm hoping it's a hose, not the actual cylinder, but... So that's why the backhoe's over here. And now that the diesel generator for the shop has warmed up a bit, I guess I can start dealing with the other stuff. So I'm gonna use the plasma cutter to cut that base off, because that's just ridiculously massive and I don't need it. And then I can cut the rest of this on a bandsaw, which is much easier to do. And while I've got the generator up and running, we're gonna see how well I have managed to fix the hydraulics on the milling machine. So I'm actually gonna check that out right now. Ah, light. Okay. So the milling machine is already a frickin' mess because I've been fixing it. The backhoe keeps making weird noises. It's disconcerting. Anyways, so I had a few hydraulic hoses in here that were leaking, and I hope I got the ones, and I hope I managed to fix it in kind of a makeshift way. But time will tell, and time is right now. So, yes. Need to turn this thing on. I need to label these. So this is my new 3-phase setup. There we go. That guy is humming away happily. That is on. And now we go to turn this on. And the hydraulics will automatically turn on, I think? No, not yet. Because the stop is pushed in. Okay. So, now the hydraulics are turning on. Okay. Excellent. Well, things are clicking back there. Okay. I'm going to raise the Z-axis up because I still have to put a cover back on. But, nope, that is leaking like a sieve. Oh my god. Okay, that's still not working. Stop. Great. Okay. Did not fix hydraulics at all. I was so hoping. Well, I think I may have fixed one of the two, so maybe I can work on that other one still. Okay, well, that was a very quick test and failure. Yay, failure. I might as well shut that off and not deal with that anymore. And shut you off. Okay. More work. Of course, this being a German machine with European standard fittings, they are so easily to get in the middle of nowhere, or in North America to begin with. So we're gonna see if I can fix this. Yeah. with how that turned out. And so far, the generator is not complaining about the loads, which is really good. So this is working out. Nice. Well, yesterday did not go very well for me. Yeah, this is day 2 into a 2-hour job. Yes, I said that correctly. Day 2 into a 2-hour job. All I wanted to do yesterday was to retrieve a piece of metal so that I can cut it. And for that, I needed to use the backhoe. The minute I started using the backhoe, it started leaking a lot. And yes, it just went downhill from there. Hi, goats. I'll feed you in a bit. Just chill. At least it's a beautiful day. This is awesome. Still got a little bit of frost in the morning, but we're getting there. The scary part is actually how dry everything is. Like normally, I would still have snow, but now we've got dry ground, so I don't even have mud. Yesterday, I spent the entire afternoon getting this cylinder out, which is buried inside of that. And the reason why I got this out was because I was under the impression that this thing is damaged and leaking a lot. And it is leaking a little bit, as I can see. Definitely leaked out, so I'm going to have to redo the seals on this. But I think the bigger issue is that this entire thing is flexing too much. So I might have to pull this entire assembly right off and have a look to see if I have to reinforce things and repair them. So this is turning into a big job. But I am gonna have to pull the cylinder apart and do some repairs. I was really concerned about seeing this over here, and especially seeing these little marks in here. I thought actually that the wall has been damaged, especially because of all of this debris here, or well, whatever. This is kind of like hardened grease or whatever the hell this is. But yeah, I was concerned that the wall was actually worn through and was leaking through there. Luckily, it's not. So I'm very fortunate that that is not the issue. All right. Today is turning out to be an amazing day, weather-wise at least. It's hot. I'm actually gonna have to go inside and get changed in a minute. Okay, so I've pulled out the extendaboom out of the actual main boom, which surprisingly was not that difficult. Good thing I positioned everything kind of the way I did, because I could use the tractor to kind of pull it out and have a look at it. So my concern was that it was somehow flexing as it was coming out and then damaging the seals and rubbing on that cylinder. When in actuality, what happened is, for some reason, there's a dip in here. And I don't know why, if this got damaged at some point by the previous owner. I don't know what happened there exactly. Maybe they tried to lift something too heavy and it buckled the boom. I don't know what they were doing. But anyways, you can kind of see that it dips down the top and is kind of banana shaped. The bottom is definitely straighter. So initially what I was thinking of doing was, because that wall is probably thinner over there too, maybe cutting out the section on the top, like a piece about that long, cutting it out and then putting a plate in flush and welding it. The problem is it has to be perfectly flush, top and inside and outside, because the cylinder runs in there, and then it runs inside of the boom. So that's not the best idea. Because I don't use this machine commercially every day, I think what I'm going to try to do first is try to pry it apart. So inside, let's do a little zoom in there if we can. Can we? Well, here, let me get this out of the way. There we go. All right. inside, what I did is I put a very heavy wall tube that takes up most of that room and a small porta power jack. And I'm going to be jacking it up with this. So this is kind of my my little experiment to see how well this is going to work. So I've got the porta power approximately where I want it. Hold on, give me a second here. Okay, I'm going to start jacking this thing up here. Let's zoom into this area and see. It's really hard to tell, but it is going up. It's probably going to be a lot easier to see when it comes back down. Now, ideally, I'm going to kind of push it further out than it needs to be. And then when it springs back, it'll be better. Okay, now that should work. Okay. Not sure if you saw that, but it definitely sprung back down, but it's already kind of higher up. So if I keep doing this a few more times in a gradual way, then it should get rid of that bow that I have. And the bow is only evident in the top, so. Okay, so ramming speed. Okay, so I'm trying to get the rod end out and it's not coming, so we're going to try pulling it with the tractor because that seems like a reasonable idea. What could possibly go wrong? Jesus. Well, you got the seals dirty. Grant. I bet you they're about
5 seconds away from getting those seals.
I bet you this end is fine.
Oh yeah.
I just need those ones. I could probably reuse these ones. Oh my god.
And you know what would happen if you reused them about a week after?
They would blow out. I know. All right, can you actually just hold this for a second? I'm going to unhook all this chain stuff. Alrighty then. Well, that eventually was successful. It didn't work out necessarily exactly how I wanted it, but it was successful. There's a bit of oil mess on the ground here, and not much I can do about that. So that is just the reality of machinery and working outside. My shop is currently a bloody disaster because it looks as if a backhoe exploded in the middle of it, which it kind of did. So getting this cylinder apart was a massive, massive pain. Another aspect of it that I didn't record, which was very difficult, was to actually unscrew the top cap. And to be able to do this, the only way I was able to finally do it was to weld a tab onto it and beat the hell out of it with a big hammer. Now, I should be able to grind that clean and then reinstall it properly, I'm hoping. Yeah. So anyways, I still have to take apart the seals and everything else. And then I have to modify the cylinder a little bit so that it wears better inside the boom. But things are slowly progressing. But it is not easy. And it's not easy because it's an old machine and it's in some aspects not a very well-designed machine, which doesn't help. So, yeah. All right, that was my interesting day of swearing a lot and trying to make things work. Right, Hector? Yes. Good job. Stay out of the oil, please. Yes, stay out of the oil. I don't need an oily dog. You're a good dog. You're a good dog. I just don't need you to be oily. Okay. I needed the tractor to pull this thing apart. Oh my god. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this as entertaining as Grant did. Stay tuned for more down the road.